Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Yang sama-sama kita hormati Bapak Kepala Lembaga Layanan Pendidikan Tinggi Wilayah 3 Jakarta, Bapak Profesor Dr. Tony Toharudin, SSI MIC. Yang kami hormati Bapak Gunardi MA beserta tim. Kemudian yang kami hormati Bapak Ibu pimpinan perguruan tinggi atau yang mewakili yang sudah bergabung pada siang hari ini. Mengawali acara kita pada hari ini, webinar Akreditasi Internasional Agensi for Quality Insurance atau AQAS, diawali dengan menyanyikan lagu Indonesia Raya. Ya. Selesai dan terima kasih. Bapak Ibu yang kami hormati, pertama-tama marilah kita panjatkan puji syukur kehadiran Allah yang Maha Kuasa, karena pada siang hari ini kita bisa bersama-sama mengikuti kegiatan secara webinar Akreditasi Internasional Agensi for Quality Insurance atau AQAS. Dan mengawali pula acara kita pada siang hari ini, kita dengarkan bersama sambutan dari Kepala Lembaga Layanan Pendidikan Tinggi Wilayah 3 Jakarta. Untuk itu kepada yang terhormat Bapak Profesor Dr. Tony Toharudin, SSI MSc, kami persilahkan.
Baik, terima kasih Ibu Herlina. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has been giving us blessings and mercies, so we can attend webinar today's in a good condition. It is such an honor for me to speak on behalf of LLDikti Wilayah 3. Let me begin by giving you a warm welcome to the webinar AQAS International Accreditation. We would like to thank everyone here for making time to attend this remarkable webinar. I would like also to say thank you very much to Mrs. Doris Herman, AQAS Managing Director for Strategy, Process, and International Head of Sector International. Also Mas Gun, Euro Insight Institute and Consultancy, Pak Paul, Euro Insight Institute and Consultancy. And also to our guest who has experience in AQAS accreditation from Esa Unggul and Universitas Negeri Jakarta. We strongly encourage that study program can apply to be accredited international on the basis of ministerial regulation number 53 in 2023, that study program accreditation only recognize two status, namely accredited and not accredited. But study program also can apply for excellent status and also international status. Even international status can be higher than excellent status. So that's the reason now we follow a webinar from AQAS. So I'm sure that today would be fun and full of learning. I hope that this event at the end will help us how to apply accreditation to AQAS, I think. So I don't want to take too much time. I need to hand over to Ibu Herlina, our today's MC, to introduce our guest speaker to all of you. I would like to say once more on behalf of this webinar organizer, welcome to this event, and hopefully it will be useful for all your institution, especially in region 3, DKI Jakarta. So thank you very much and enjoy your webinar. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Prof. Tony yang sudah menyampaikan sambutan pembukaan pada acara webinar Akreditasi Internasional AQAS pada siang hari ini. Dan untuk selanjutnya kami serahkan kepada yang terhormat Pak Bapak Gunardi beserta tim untuk acara selanjutnya. Kami persilakan Pak Gunardi. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Bu Herlina. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon in Indonesia and good morning in Germany and the Netherlands.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, honorable audience, my name is Gunaryadi from The Hague, the Netherlands. I'm one of your moderators for today. It is my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to each and every one of you to this socialization event on international accreditation through AQAS for directors and senior management of private higher education institutions under the auspice of LLDikti 3. Our recent research found that only 2% of study programs at Indonesia's higher education institutions have been internationally accredited. In the private higher education institution category, this rate is even smaller, namely around 0.3%. A presentation of this research finding in Van der Valk in Wassenaar, the Netherlands in November 2023 convinced the heads of LLDikti 3, Professor Tony Toharudin, to initiate an effort to increase this number. It is not merely about statistics and numbers, but more on quality improvement and enhancement of study programs according to international standards. It is about increasing the ranking, branding, research collaboration opportunities and outcomes, student exchange and intakes. Professor Tony, who is aware of my good connection and involvement with AQAS, a German KA agency based in Cologne, specially requested a socialization event for the leaders of private higher education institutions on international accreditation from AQAS. Through smooth coordination with Mrs. Doris Herman, the Managing Director of AQAS, and the support from Professor Tony, and facilitated by Euro Insight Institute and Consultancy, this webinar can set off. Our distinguished guests and audience, thank you so much for joining this webinar. Please aware it is recorded and also decided that English is used as the medium without an interpreter. Today, together with our honorable rectors, senior management, and key representatives from 230 plus higher education institutions are Professor Tony Toharudin, and then the head of General Affairs of LLDikti 3, Mr. Novianto, and the chairperson of KA Task Force, Mr. Iksan Rianda, and other officials from LLDikti 3. Then our authoritative speakers from AQAS, Mrs. Doris Herman and Mrs. File. Then Dr. Faisal Madani from Universitas Negeri Jakarta, Mr. Muhammad Abdul from Universitas Esa Unggul, also Mr. Ali Abdullah, and Mr. Paul van der Veer from Euro Insight Institute and Consultancy. We planned that this webinar would take about 2 hours before we invite our distinguished speakers. Let me convey some information. Quantitatively and in total, AQAS was the second top agency for the completed quality assessment in Indonesia after ASIN, which is also a German KA agency. The trend shows that AQAS is growing steadily, exponentially in the race to serve the KA market demand in our country, Indonesia. First, Mrs. Doris Herman. She has been the managing director of AQAS for 18 years. Her professional work experience covers a wide range of issues in quality assurance. She has coordinated more than 200 assessment procedures in higher education in Germany and beyond. Her ancillary activities and positions include being the Vice President of the European Association for Quality Assurance in Higher Education, ENCA, as well as a board member of this association since 2021. She's also a coordinator of international accreditation projects in Indonesia, China, Turkey, Oman, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, Rwanda, Egypt, Lesotho, and Moldova. And she's also a training speaker on different topics for UNESCO, the AAD, and German Rectors Conference. She has worked in the area of quality assurance in higher education for 28 years. Second, Mrs. Phi Lei. She's a consultant for international accreditation at AQAS. She graduated in Germany with a master's degree in European Studies. Phi has been working for AQAS since 2022, where she's mainly support international accreditation procedures in different countries. She's really excited to join this webinar today due to her intensive engagement with different universities in Indonesia. I've been working with Phi on several KA procedures, through which I'm personally sure that Phi has known a lot about Indonesia, about the people, and its special food. Now, let's welcome Doris and Phi for the AQAS presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Gunnar, and thank you so much to Prof. Tony for the warm welcome. My colleague, we worked in Indonesia since 2020 or 2022, and we had many nice experiences and many nice memories. So thank you for this. Honored participants, I feel very pleased that you are so much interested in international accreditation. But before we start with our presentation, I would like to highlight something that was mentioned before. I think that international accreditation can bring an added value to you, but of course it does not substitute the national accreditation. So it's an additional perspective we try to bring in the area of quality assurance. The approach AQAS follows is very much focused on enhancement. So I know that if you apply for international accreditation, it feels a little bit like going through an exam. But our agency and my personal conviction is that it's so important to improve higher education to develop a country that the focus should be on enhancement, not only on checking what happens on the ground. So this is my introduction, and I would like to present to you Can you see it? Do you have full screen or?
Yes, there is.
Oh,
Okay.
I can see it, but I'm not sure for the other participant.
But I think it's not yet in the presentation mode, Joyce.
you can slideshow. I mean,
Yeah, it still shows the slides. Yeah.
Oh. Then I just continue.
yes.
Right. Okay. What is important to get to know is that AQAS is a membership organization. We have been established by universities, and we feel obliged to serve the universities. So it's another approach than in many different countries in Europe, where the agencies are more interlinked to the ministries. That's not the case in Germany. All agencies in Germany are obliged to work on a non-profit basis, and that's the reason why we have to charge universities for the costs. We are one of the largest agencies in Germany, so we accredited more than 8,000 programs in the last 22 years. And the reason behind the high number is that in teachers' education, where we are very active, you simply count it double because you study 2 subjects. Anyhow, we have a large number of programs accredited and many procedures, and we are allowed to accredit programs of all disciplines. That's not the case with all the German agencies. So we are admitted on the national and European level to accredit all kind of programs. We are also one of the most experienced agencies in Europe, because in some countries the accreditation system started much later. And to be accepted as an agency, you have to be accredited yourself. So we are accredited and admitted by the German Accreditation Council, but also double-checked by the European authorities, the European Network of Quality Assurance and the European Register. I come to this in a minute. And because we are part of the accreditation and Bologna process, we have a very strong focus also on internationalization.
Doris?
Yes.
I think it's not shown yet in full presentation, the presentation.
Okay.
Maybe you have to change it to.
Now
Yes.
we are. Is it okay now?
Yeah, no, it's
Excellent.
okay. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And what's important for you if you decide to work with AQAS or if you decide to work with another agency, to double check that they are also accepted on the international level. So we are full member of ENQA, the European Association of Quality Assurance Agency, with 54 members. We are also accepted by ECA. ECA is a kind of whitelist. So when you are listed there, it shows that you are in line with the European principles of quality assurance. We are also very active in all kinds of networks. So there's a European Consortium of Accreditation, and my colleague is also a member of the board there, and they try to develop new approaches in quality assurance and to bring the whole sector forward. And of course, we are also full member of INQA here, the worldwide network of QA bodies. And I know that Prof. Basarudin is also active in the board of INQA here. Gunnar mentioned it in the introduction. So we are quite experienced because universities in many other countries approached us and asked us in the past 8 years, Doris, we know that Germans carry out this kind of accreditations, and we would like to have also our quality checked. Could you provide something similar in our countries? That's the reason why we are quite active in Indonesia, in Vietnam, China, Turkey, Egypt, Oman, and also some African countries and Chile. Specifically in Indonesia, we are quite active since May 2020. So we also have gained some experiences in your higher education system. And we checked and accredited 274 programs in 72 procedures. And as you can see in the graphic, we checked many programs coming from the disciplines of humanities, languages, and so on, but also 16% of all accreditation procedures took place in the area of engineering, and we are also active in the area of arts and others. So when we work with abroad, we always invite experts from academia, from the labor market, and student representatives. So that's a European basic standard. And we are very happy that 365 experts agreed to support our procedures, coming from all disciplines, coming from all areas of the labor market, and coming from many different countries. So, of course, as a German agency, we work with German experts, but in fact, we also invite always experts from the region. So we work with many Indonesian labor market and experts and professors. If you look at the outcomes of the procedures, then you get to know that 45 programs managed to get an accreditation without conditions. So there is nothing major to improve. And 229 programs got an accreditation under conditions, which is also a quite regular outcome in Germany. So that's nothing that comes as a surprise. There's always something to improve. And that's the reason why conditions are given by the experts and by our standing commission to improve the situation. And for 17 programs, the decision has been postponed. It means a stop in the procedure. And after the university has revised it, the procedures can continue. Why international accreditation? As said before, I think the focus is that university really has a chance to enhance the quality of the programs and gets recommendation also for further development. See it as a chance, please, that international experts come and evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of the programs, so you get a multi-perspective evaluation of your study programs. And your experts also are your colleagues coming from academia, and it's a chance to exchange with your colleagues from your discipline. I think that's one of the strengths of this procedures, like they are conceptualized now, that you discuss on AQAS with your colleagues. Of course, in case of the success, you demonstrate that the program complies with the criteria defined in European standards and guidelines, which are agreed by 48 participants in countries in Europe. And it improves your international visibility because the results are published on the website of AQAS, but not only. There's an European database hosted by ECA, and we upload the report there. So it's completely transparent what happened. And in case of success, also you get a certificate of accreditation. You receive from the experts an honest feedback on strengths and weaknesses. So we will have, in case you decide to work with AQAS, very open discussions, what's going on and how it's assessed by the panel of experts. But also you get some expertise and guidance to the departments, and our experts never focus on short notice quick fixes, but also give recommendations what should be done in the middle run to improve and develop the program. An international accreditation increases the acceptance of the degrees. It's not the case that you have an automatic recognition of the degrees. It's up to the universities in Europe to decide if they accept graduates. But of course, it's more likely that the graduates of Indonesian universities are accepted by European universities if they decide to participate in the mobility programs. Also, it's universities from Indonesia told us that that it gives some benefits when they apply to get accepted at other universities, so the mobility is enhanced. And of course, international research and collaboration is enhanced if you can show that your program is accredited. It creates trust and acceptance by governments, administrations, and the labor market. I was asked to say something about the costs of an accreditation. I cannot recalculate each procedure individually, so I cannot tell you the fixed price is this and that. But as a non-profit organization, we are not allowed to create gains or losses. So we try to be realistic in our calculation. For you, it's interesting to know that we bundle programs coming from similar disciplines. So, for example, accounting, economics, business administration, they can be bundled in one procedure. We call it cluster, and that makes it cheaper for the universities and also creates some synergies. And if you send us some of your programs and you say we would like to have this assessed, we will provide a written quotation which describes our services and the cost transparency. So we would also try to be cost aware, because we would like to ask you to book the hotel and to take care of the ground transplantation, so that you can make use of your regional networks and it becomes a little bit cheaper for you. And it's also important for you to mention that there is no annual fee we charge. So we charge you once for the costs of accreditation, and that's it. And with this, I would like to hand over to my colleague Vi, who will describe the steps of the procedure, but also make you a little bit familiar with the criteria we have in use. Vi, please take over.
Okay. Thank you, Doris. Am I audible? Very well. Could you all hear me? Okay. Yeah. So before I continue, please allow me to send my warmest greetings to all the audience here, to Professor Tony and to Guna. It's good to see you again here. I think from during in this presentation, I would like to introduce you to the whole step of AQAS procedure, what you have to do during the procedure, and what from AQAS I can support you during the procedure. As you can see from the slide here, we have three main actors in this procedure. We have the higher education institutions, as in we usually understand universities. We have AQAS and consultants and experts, and also one main actor. And we have the standing commission, also another actor who would give the decision, some important decision in each step. And to start with, from the beginning, of course, the university, they would have to write the application to AQAS. You submitted the application as in the self-evaluation report to AQAS, and then we receive your application, and as AQAS consultant, we will give you the informal feedback after we screen through your application. We will tell you what documents are still maybe missing, what information that have to be filled out also in your self-evaluation report. And then we would have a meeting with the standing commission of AQAS. There we will discuss your documents, your self-evaluation report, and then the commission, they will decide to initialize the procedure. And after this part is where we can start to prepare for the site visit. But we have to give the feedback to the university again, to give you the last chance to revise all documents. Like the main one would be the self-evaluation reports, and also additional annexes you would like to give us. And then we would ask the standing commission to nominate a group of experts based on the profile of the study programs. I think Doris already mentioned to you before that the combination of the expert groups include the experts from academia, from labor markets, and from students representatives. Okay, and after we have the experts nominated by the standing commission, we would also forward this information to the university. So the university would be informed about the panel of experts, and you can also say that you agree with the expert panel, or would you have another opinion on the expert panel. And if both sides already agree on the panel of experts, then we will start with the next steps, that we will send the experts all documents submitted by the university. So the experts, they can start to write their preliminary statements based on the documents submitted by you. So these statements would be understood as like an overview of the experts on the study programs and their very preliminary opinion assessment based on your written documents. And of course, it's only the written documents, so we need a platform to face-to-face discuss with you all the questions, and for example, or for further improvement, then we need a platform to discuss, and there we call that the site visit. Then we will have the site visit with the experts, with the panel of experts, and accompanied by AQAS consultant. We will go to your universities to directly see what you are doing there, and we will have also direct discussion. This point in the next slide, I will walk you through to further detail, but the site visit is also very important in the whole procedure. And after the site visit, the expert, they would have around 3 weeks or 1 month to write the report based on the written documents and also what they have observed during the site visit. And after the experts, they already finished the report, we again will share to the university the report, so you can have an opportunity to give feedback on the report. And based on the reports by the experts and the feedback by the university, we will discuss that in a meeting with the Standing Commission. And the Standing Commission would be the one who gives the final decision. So here I would like to emphasize that although the experts, they conducted the site visit, they observed and they assessed the study programs, but in the end, to make sure of transparency, of the procedure, the Standing Commission will be the one who gives the final decision. Yeah. Okay. Maybe next slide, please.
And it's at the moment it's stuck. Now, yes.
Okay, now thank you. Yeah. So like I said, I would go to more details because site visit is really important. We will have a bundle of programs like Doris already mentioned. It would be more beneficial to the university. Then we would have a chance visit of panel of experts, and the duration of the site visits would be lasting between like 2.5 days or 3.5 days. It really depends on the number of the study programs in the cluster. And like I said before, that the site visit will provide you a platform for discussion. And there we will sitting face to face, and then we discuss with each other what is the problem or what can be further improved in your study programs. And that means we would have separate talks with different stakeholders in the procedure. For example, we would have a talk with the university leadership and management. And then we will talk to the management of the faculty or the department. Then we also have the discussion with teaching staff of each study program. And to make sure that all the relevant stakeholders are involved in this, we also talk to the students as well as the alumni if they already graduated from the study programs. And we also talk to the labor market representatives to understand how you connect with the industry. as you know that although it's the site visit, but we always say that it's not set up in the form of examination. So we always ask the experts to act as critical friends, and there they can give you the advice for the enhancement of study programs. But of course, like as the site visits, it also a chance for us to exchange. So obviously we will learn from each other. It's not only like one side of the advice. Yeah. And I hope you already have an overview of the procedures. And now I would like to introduce AQAS criteria for the bachelor and the master programs. So AQAS criteria is basically developed based on, I think Doris mentioned before, based on the European standards and guidelines. And there we have 7 criteria we usually use when we assess the study programs. You can see here at listed. We have the first criteria, like quality of the curriculum. Second one would be focused on procedure for quality assurance. The third one, learning, teaching, and assessment of students. The fourth one, student admission, progression, recognition, and certification. The next one would be we focus on teaching staff. And the last 2 would be learning resources and student support, and then public information, sorry. And please allow me to tell you some more detail of each criterion. So I would not give you all details of this because it would take you like 30 minutes or so. So I will try to summarize and highlight some important aspects in the criterion that you should be acknowledged, or you should be aware of when you are preparing your application. So the first one, in quality of the curriculum, we usually would like to focus on the intended learning outcomes, like how you formulate your intended learning outcomes on program and course level. You should make sure that it not only aligns with your domestic, your national qualification framework, but also European qualification frameworks. And there, we also would like to see how you design your curriculum and how you design your course description, and to make sure that they include all important information for the teaching staff and the students. And second criterion, we have procedures for quality assurance. So here we would like to see if you have a QA policy in place for all level. How you do you have like comprehensive procedures, and how you design them, and how you monitor them. And monitoring process is also very important in this criterion. The other 2 aspects we would like to see is the feedback mechanism. So for example, if you survey your students, if you survey the labor markets, do you analyze the data? Do you use these data to have solution, to make improvement? And after you make improvement, are these stakeholders, they are shared with your action or not? Yeah. Maybe the next slide. Yeah. Okay. And the next one would be learning, teaching, and assessment of students. Here we would like to focus on the learning and teaching methods during the student life cycle. And one of the most important approach here in our criteria is the student-oriented learning approach. So how you design your study program to be student-oriented. And we would also like to see the organization and also feasibility of the study program for students to make sure that they can complete in the given period of time. And also we would like to see if you have examination regulations in place, or how you organize examination and assessment for students. Are they transparent? Are they comprehensive to students, to lecturers, and as well as other relevant stakeholders? On the next criterion, we focus on student admission, progression, recognition, and certification. And of course, the admission procedure is really important for the prospective students. So we would like to see if they are transparent, they are comprehensive enough, and they are accessible to relevant stakeholders. And I believe in Indonesia, not only students, but also maybe the parents and the labor market also are really interested in this. Then we also check the progression, like how you monitor students' learning progress during their student life cycle, and how you analyze the data, how you make use of data to support the student, to monitor students during their learning process. And we also would like to see the recognition mechanism and certification. And usually we know that in Indonesia is very famous for the MBKM program. So students are allowed to take courses outside the study programs or even like in another countries. So the recognition mechanism is really important for students to have their credits recognized in their degree. Yeah. And the next one, we concentrate on teaching staff. We will only assess the current teaching staff at the study programs through assessing the quantity, quality, as well as the experience. And we would also like to see that if you have the staff recruitment procedures in place, as well as how you conceptualize the staff development for your lecturers. And the next criterion, we focus on the learning resources and student support. And of course, during the site visit, we will like to observe the learning resource by visiting your library, your laboratories or classrooms, to see how you make sure these facilities are adequate for lecturers as well as students. And then student support is also important because, as we already mentioned, student-oriented approach. So how you support students is also an important indicator for us. And last but not least, we would like to see how you publish your information and how are they accessible to relevant stakeholders. Yeah. Okay, and I think I already presented 7 criteria with their important aspects. And now I would like to give you an overview of the decision taken by the AQAS Commission. Like I said before, the AQAS Commission would be the one who give final decision for the procedure. And usually the duration of the whole procedure would be around from 9 to 12 months, including the preparation phase, which is approximately 3 months for you to prepare all the documents. And we would have 4 options for the final decision taken by the Standing Commission. And the first one would be the idealist one, is an unconditional accreditation for 6 years. But with this kind of decision, the study program also receive recommendations from the experts for further enhancement. The second option would be a conditional accreditation, also valid for 6 years. Here, I would like to highlight that, yeah, because Doris already showed you the graphics before, that this kind of decision take the most proportion of our outcome. So here, there would be some condition for the study programs as well for the university to fulfill in 12 months to make your accreditation valid in the next 3 to 6 years. The next one would be a postponement of the accreditation procedure. So this decision would be taken when we see that the study programs still need time to revise the papers and the documents. You would need more than 12 months to revise all the documents. Then we would postpone the decision for the accreditation and give you 18 months to revise the concept and the papers, and then the accreditation will become valid after that. And the last option would be the last decision would be a denial of accreditation. And I think this is worst cases, and it's not doesn't take function in the product you have seen. So it means that the study program does not meet the European standards at all. And I would like to give you an important note here. Although we say that we bundle programs into clusters to evaluate, but then when we give the decision, we give them individually. It means that each program might have like different decisions based on how they perform during the site visit and also on the written documents. Yeah. And I think that's all from my part for introducing the criteria and the decision. Yeah. Taking back to you, Doris. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course, we will provide the presentation to you. We will send it to Suguna so that you can distribute it. And on the last slide, you also have our contact details. So in case of questions, please do not hesitate to contact my colleague B or me. It's all from our side, and I hand back to Gunnar, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Doris and Fee, for your concise and clear explanation of important aspects of international accreditation procedures by AQAS. Now, our session turns to a brief sharing experiences, testimonies, and best practices from the assessment procedures with AQAS. We expect it will take about 15 minutes in total. We kindly invite Mr. Muhammad Abduh from Universitas Esa Unggul for this testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Gunadi. Good afternoon, everybody, and good morning, Miss Doris, Miss Paul, and Miss Phil. I'm sorry, my English is not so good. I will try about the accreditation, during accreditation in my university. Let me about the screen. Pak Gunadi, saya ke bahasa Indonesia aja kali ya, biar lancar gitu ya. Jadi ini sharing session terkait dengan program studi yang ada di Esa Unggul, ya, bahwa kita memang tadi tujuannya sesuai dengan Permendikbud 53 tadi yang disampaikan oleh Prof. Tony. Izin Prof. Tony, yang tadi disampaikan, mohon maaf tadi belum disampaikan. Yang nomor 53 itu memang AQAS ini kan diakui sebagai lembaga akreditasi yang nanti bisa dikonversi menjadi unggul gitu ya. Nah, karena memang AQAS ini tadi disampaikan diakreditasi atau diregistrasi oleh ECAR, kira-kira itu. Nah, ada beberapa program studi yang kami lakukan ya. Jadi ada betul tadi disinggung soal biaya atau cost, itu tidak ada fixed cost gitu ya. Jadi memang sangat fleksibel cost-nya itu ya, bervariasi biaya-biayanya Bapak Ibu. Jadi memang kenapa dibuat klaster itu supaya lebih murah tadi kan ya, supaya lebih kan lebih apa namanya, lebih kalau dibagi dengan sekian prodi jadi lebih murah lah kira-kira gitu ya. Nah, itu kami membagi beberapa klaster. Ada klaster desain, klaster teknologi gitu ya. Kemudian klaster teknologi 2, klaster manajemen, klaster education and psikologi. Nah, memang tadi betul bergantung dari program studi dan expert yang akan di ikut sertakan oleh AQAS tadi itu. Jadi memang kemarin kalau misalnya yang pertama itu 2 program studi, kita ada 2 profesor gitu ya, satu dari kemudian satu from labor dan satu dari students. Nah, ini kurang lebih visit 3 hari. Kemudian teknologi 1 juga sama gitu ya. Ini lebih banyak ya, ada 3 profesor karena memang 3 program studi ya, 3 program studi. Kemudian untuk yang teknologi 2 tadi itu ya, ini juga ada 2 profesor, satu labor, satu students ya. Kemudian yang change manajemennya juga banyak nih, yang cluster management. Jadi ada 4 yang kita coba ajukan. Nah, pembagian cluster ini biasanya ke lebih apa ya? Lebih enak rumpun ilmu kali Bapak Ibu ya. Jadi kalau misalnya humanoria mungkin dimasukin ke humanoria semua program studinya. Kalau misalnya klasternya teknologi semua gitu ya. Kira-kira supaya lebih mendekati kira-kira seperti itu. Nah, kemarin juga yang terakhir klaster English, Psikologi dan Education ini kita sudah lakukan juga ya. Jadi ada 5 expert. Durasinya tergantung ya, ada 3 hari, ada 4 hari, tergantung dari program studi yang akan diakses atau akan diakreditasi. Ya. Nah, untuk biaya tadi itu adalah biaya akreditasinya, tapi juga kita menanggung biaya untuk apa namanya expertnya gitu ya, datang ya, dari mulai tiketing sampai akomodasi lah gitu segala macam, makannya segala macam, hotelnya juga ya. Jadi ada biaya tadi, biaya untuk yang akreditasi, juga ada biaya di luar akreditasi. Nah, tadi disampaikan oleh Miss Doris bahwa cost-nya itu untuk sekali cost itu untuk satu periode tadi 6 tahun tadi ya. Jadi memang kalau kita dibagi dengan 6 tahun, ya mungkin lebih murah jadi jatuhnya gitu ya kalau kita bagi 6 tahun ya. Distribusi biaya tadi itu. Nah, ini waktu itu ya kita mencoba merencanakan terkait dengan apa namanya timeline lah, timeline untuk bagaimana mengikuti tadi yang disampaikan oleh Miss Fili tadi ada step by stepnya. Jadi kita ikuti gitu ya, sekian bulan atau sekian minggu gitu ya. Ini kemudian ini yang disampaikan tadi yang disampaikan tadi oleh Miss Fili juga kita ikuti tadi ya tahapan-tahapan daripada prosedur AQAS tadi itu ya. Jadi ada apa namanya semacam ada feedback, ada tektokan lah dengan mereka terkait dengan share evaluation report yang kita laporkan. Nah, ini yang dibagi di internal kita gitu ya. Kita membagi dalam tadi karena ada 7 kriteria, kita bagi 7 kelompok kira-kira seperti itu. Jadi ini yang kita bagi dalam satu tim ya. Tim itu ada 7, nanti ada siapa person insight-nya, kemudian apa berbagai output yang akan diharapkan dari masing-masing bagian tadi gitu ya. Kemudian ini kegiatan tadi persiapan tadi yang dilakukan oleh kami dari tim Esa Unggul, dari konseling ya ini supaya timnya itu fokus gitu ya, menyelesaikan ataupun merapikan share-nya ya, share evaluation report sesuai dengan panduan dari AQAS tadi. Gitu ya. Kemudian terakhir juga kita akan ada konseling terkait persiapan studi AQAS tadi. Jadi bagaimana kita menyiapkan agenda ketika mereka datang. Ini link panduannya nanti bisa dilihat ya, di AQAS-nya juga bisa. Kemudian satu lagi yang apa namanya role model ya yang kami lakukan untuk bahasa Inggris lah ya. Yang kemarin itu ini Jadi sebenarnya sih mirip-mirip sama akreditasi program studi dari Ban PT, cuma ini versi AQAS lah gitu ya. Jadi tadi ada kriteria tadi yang quality kurikulum, kemudian kriteria tadi terkait dengan learning teaching dan seterusnya, tadi yang 7 kriteria tadi itu disampaikan. Nah, kemudian di quality kurikulum itu mereka akan melihat workload bebannya. Tadi kan kalau kita kan model SKS ya, kalau mereka mintanya kan ICTS gitu ya. Jadi nanti dikonversi itu dari SKS menjadi ICTS lah gitu ya intinya. Satuan kredit semester dari mereka. Nah, kemudian juga mereka akan melihat tadi terkait dengan PO itu ya, indikatornya apa ya dari masing-masing PO ini. Kemarin sarannya itu kalau PO itu jangan banyak-banyak gitu, jadi supaya nanti bisa dibuktikan masing-masing prodi itu bisa menyiapkan semua bukti bahwa kita mencapai itu. Kemudian juga profile ya, berarti profile juga jangan terlalu banyak gitu ya, sesuai dengan program studinya gitu ya. Kira-kira itu yang disampaikan dalam kurikulum. Kemudian kurikulum ini juga yang tadi terkait dengan KKNI lah yang mirip ya tadi yang pengetahuan, skill ya, skill khusus, skill umum dan seterusnya. Nah, ini juga klasifikasi daripada kredit ya. Kemudian juga ini distribusi tadi cleaning apa namanya? Kurikulum tadi itu kita coba membagi dalam 8 semester itu seperti ini gitu ya. Kesusunnya dan mereka tuh ditanyakan nih, ini paling banyak ditanyakan pada saat visitasi ya tentang kurikulum. Itu paling apa namanya paling banyak mereka menanyakan soal ini gitu. Karena memang mereka ingin memastikan bahwa kurikulum kita itu sudah memenuhi gitu ya apa yang diinginkan oleh si student ataupun mahasiswa. Oke, kemudian ini sama seperti tadi ya ininya. Nah, kemudian satu lagi yang terakhir terkait dengan ininya apa namanya beberapa pertanyaan lah ya yang sering diajukan oleh mereka gitu ya. Jadi ini sih sebenarnya pertanyaan-pertanyaan generik ya yang secara umum ke customer atau ke mahasiswa. Jadi terkait bagaimana nyaman nggak kamu belajar di kelas gitu ya, kalau untuk yang ke mahasiswa gitu ya. Kemudian fasilitas apa yang dimiliki oleh lembaga gitu sehingga masa bisa nyaman belajar ya. Kemudian apa fasilitas yang apakah ada ya konselingnya, bagaimana fasilitas kesehatan bagi mahasiswa gitu ya. Kemudian bagaimana lab bahasanya. Nah, mereka juga akan berkunjung tuh ke lab-lab kita ya. Lab-lab kita itu mereka akan berkunjung, kemudian melihat bagaimana penggunaan lab itu, kemudian apa hasil dari lab yang digunakan. Gitu ya. Nah, ini yang terkait dengan mahasiswa ya. Kemudian juga ada juga pertanyaan terkait dengan dosennya juga ditanyakan oleh mereka ya ke mahasiswa. Mahasiswa ini apa yang apakah memang mereka merasakan satu kepuasan lah dalam belajar mengajar di ensemble ataupun di kelas. Gitu. Kemudian alumni juga ditanya juga tuh alumni gitu ya. Alumni kemarin ada beberapa pertanyaan yang menggelitik lah gitu. Apakah memang materi yang kita sampaikan itu membuat mereka stres atau tidak gitu ya. Nah, itu juga bagian dari pertanyaan yang mereka lakukan. Kemudian ini sama ya, tes tadi gitu berapa bulan setelah kamu lulus itu dapat berapa lama pekerjaan yang kamu dapatkan. Kemudian apa kegiatan yang dilakukan oleh
Excuse me,
kampus
Pak
ini.
Abdul,
Ya,
for a moment. Will be an translation from LLDikti 3 for this testimony letter,
oh, oke.
because we have speakers here who don't speak Indonesian language.
Oh, silakan
I'm
kalau mau.
asking probably Pak Iksan or Pak Tony. No. Okay, sorry. You may go ahead, Pak Abdul.
Oke. Last time, last slide ya. Tadi terkait during the accreditation process. This is the question for alumni, question for lecturer, and question for students. Yeah, many expert will be asked about the situation, academic situation, environment, situation on learning, on class or out of class, something like that. This is the testimony from me, from my university. But tapi memang unfortunately my program all program still conditional certification. So this is maybe need improve for my university, yeah, to get certification unconditional. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ani.
Yeah.
Kembali ke nih. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Pak Abdul, for your brief testimony. Yeah, based on your experience following the accreditation procedures with AQAS. I would like to help for Bu Doris, Fee, and also Pak Paul, maybe. In general, Pak Abdul informed us about the experience from Universitas Esa Unggul during the accreditation procedures that they followed. That's about the advantages of getting procedures with AQAS related to the cost and also the standards and also the experts and the involvement of labor market and students and also about the whole experience during the process. Yeah, in general, we can conclude that a positive experience for Esa Unggul University. And they are improving now because the current decision is still with conditions. So they try to improve everything within this time restriction. Yeah. Otherwise, Pak Abdul, the result will be postponement. Okay, but we hope that you will achieve that. Yeah, thank you very much again for your testimony.
Welcome.
And I think this will be valuable and also interesting for other participants today. Thank you. Then we arrived at the QA session. This session will be moderated by my colleagues and friends, Mr. Ali Abdullah. A little bit or briefly about Mr. Ali, or Kang Ali, I call him. He is the General Manager of Insight Institute and Consultancy. Beside his tenure as a lecturer at the Faculty of Law, Universitas Indonesia, Kang Ali is also a PhD student at Utrecht University at this moment. Now let's welcome Kang Ali to lead this session for about 40 or 50 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Pak Gun, for
My pleasure.
introducing me. The honorable mention Tony and many other speakers, Doris and also Vile. And I will guide the Q&A sessions for today webinar. And maybe please, if you have any questions, I will help you just in case you have any difficulties to ask your questions in English. You can ask your questions in Indonesian language and I will translate the questions for you. Is there any questions? Or perhaps if you have any questions in the chat room, you can just write your questions and I will choose the questions. And even in Indonesia, if it is in Indonesian language, I will translate for you. If it is in English, you can just address the question. Okay, for the first questions, I think there's a participant who raised her hand. Bu Erna from UNAS. Please, Bu Erna. Yes, Bu Erna, hello. Can you unmute your voice? Hello, Bu Erna.
Okay,
Okay.
good afternoon.
Do you want to? Yeah, please.
Okay, my name is Erna from Universitas Nasional. I have some question from these sessions. Yeah, I think very much. Yeah, we have a lot of information from AQAS, and I have 3 questions in this event. First, I want to know what are the advantage of AQAS accreditation over than accreditation another accreditation institution. And the second, is it possible to provide from AQAS accreditation to supervision us for preparing a document before submitting a document? And third, I think the presentations give us beneficiaries from AQAS accreditation. And I want to know how a university in Indonesia, example private university like us, Universitas Nasional, can use the benefit from AQAS accreditation promises in real term, yeah, especially for a student and for lecture. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bu Erna. Yeah, thank you very much, Bu Erna. I think your 3 questions. Maybe we can, because it is already 3 questions. I'm afraid we couldn't focus on any other questions. Maybe Doris and or we will answer the question first, and I will, after Doris answer the questions from Bu Erna, we will continue to another questions. Doris, can you
Yes.
answer the questions?
Thank you, Prof. Erna, for your reasonable questions, which are completely valid. I mean, I always say, if you look, the product that is sold by the agencies is the same. So in case of success, which is also in your hands, you get this accreditation certificate by a European agency. So that's the result. The product is the same, but the way is quite different. So the different agencies have different policies, different philosophies, how to carry out such a procedure, different experiences. As I said, we are used to accredit disciplines of the whole range of disciplines. So we are not focused on one area, economics or engineering. We are allowed to assess all. So that might be an advantage. We are quite experienced in Indonesia. That might be an advantage. And we provide some services as this feedback. Vile explained it. So you receive feedback from the consultant, you receive feedback from the commission, and you receive these preliminary statements coming from the experts. So I always say it's most unlikely that you start with a feeling we will be very successful. You get only positive feedback and you will fail in the end. That usually does not happen because we included this early warning systems, these feedback loops. So if you know that something is wrong, you know it in advance, you can try to fix it. So that's specifically developed by AQAS. We practice it for many, many years. So if you select an agency, you should focus on, does this agency provide the right services for us? For example, we also always have one consultant which accompanies the procedure, usually from the beginning to the end. So you have your contact person, you can ask questions. So if you are happy with this kind of services, then you should go for AQAS. If you say the policy or the philosophy of another agency suits us better, then that's a reason to decide to go to another agency. But the product, of course, is the same. as it will be accepted no matter if you have a FIBA accreditation or AQAS accreditation. It's the same. Supervision by AQAS, as I try to explain, we try to support our universities with different instruments provided, with guidelines, with handouts, with workshops for the university. So we are allowed to consult you regarding the procedure. We are not allowed by the European practice to consult you regarding the content, and we both cannot do it. So if you have a program of economics, neither we nor I can give you a feedback. You should include more, I don't know, accounting or in it or something. That's simply not possible. So that's the reason why we always recommend perhaps to work with other external partners and get some consultancy from them to prepare you for this procedure properly. So we can guide you a little bit regarding procedure, guidelines and so on, but that's that's a restriction. We cannot really consult you in detail. And the use of the result in real, I mean, I rely on the universities in Indonesia who told us that their internationalization improved. Last year we carried out a conference, lessons learned of accreditation in Jakarta, and our clients told us that their internationalization improved, their acceptance by partners abroad improved because they show they have been quality checked. Yeah. And also it's easier to move for staff and students. What's a point is, and I try to point this out, is that we cannot guarantee that the European university will automatically accept you. At the moment, there is no automatic recognition of graduates coming from an accredited program. We are working on this in Europe so that when you have an accreditation in the future, your graduates will be accepted automatically. That's not the case. It's just more likely that students coming from an accredited program are more easily accepted at a European university if they want to study abroad. Yeah? And of course, it's a question of reputation at the end. You can say we have been quality checked. We are accepted on the European level. So it's a question how do you define what happens for real? So there are many benefits, I think, but I cannot count it in numbers. I cannot give you data. So.
Okay, but we have like opportunity for like international student exchange or international lecture exchange, include the opportunities?
I mean, most likely the experts will also give a comment on this. If your institution should have more partnerships with universities abroad, and if you can show you are accredited, it's easily to get accepted by universities abroad as a partner. But again, it depends on the individual university. If you apply to become partner of Harvard, most likely they will say we have other criteria to select our partners than accreditation. But it's a benefit to say we don't have only our marketing instruments, we also can show that external third parties checked us and accepted us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Doris, for your answer, and thank you, Bu Erna, for your questions. So perhaps maybe this accreditation, if I add one, could be an added value, right, Doris, for your university. to be more internationalized. And
Yeah.
yeah,
May I
do you
add
have any
something?
points
Our,
that you want to deliver? Yeah.
perhaps our university in Turkey, which was accredited by us 2016, they got up in the ranking. So they monitor their place in the rank, their position in the ranking they are quite focused on this, and they said due to the many accreditations, successful accreditations they had, they got up in the ranking. That might also be one of the benefits. And just
Yeah, thank you very much. Oh yeah, okay.
to add to your first question about the agencies and how to compare the agencies, I always give the advice, please invite several agencies, let them do a presentation at your university, and then you will have an idea, information, and a gut feeling which agency is best for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Doris, for your answer. I think Doris already answered all your question, right, Bu Erna? Maybe we can continue to another participant who want to deliver the questions. We have Ibu Siti Julaiha from Universitas Terbuka. Bu Siti, could you please unmute your voice so we can hear your voice clearly?
Thank you.
Yeah.
You can hear? You
Yeah,
can hear
we
my
can hear
voice?
you.
Okay.
Bu. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Doris and Miss Valley, for the information. I'm Siti Julaiha from the Quality Assurance Office from the Universitas Terbuka, the Indonesian Open University. So it's quite different from the other universities. We implement the distant education paradigm. Yeah. So how to apply about the international accreditation from the AQAS, from the our study programs who deliver by distant education. Okay, so and you mentioned that the accreditation can be individual study program or cluster study programs. Okay, for example, we have 10 study programs need to be international accreditation, but is very different. For example, 6 from the educational programs, but 3 from the administrative, public administration, or business administration, and the other from, for example, from biology. So how to, from the 10 study programs, how to cluster? It means that how to cluster, how differentiate, so we can have to cluster or 3 or something like that. So the first is how for us the distant education institution to apply the international accreditation from your agency, and how to make the cluster if we have 10 study programs with different areas. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, Bu Siti Julia. I think Doris already understand about your questions. Maybe Doris and maybe Universitas Terbuka is open university, so they conduct their teaching mostly online. It is established across in whole Indonesia, so their curriculum mostly are online. So it is more easier to for people who to access for educations. Doris or we want to answer the question?
I think I come in because I have a longer experience.
Yeah. Okay. Please, Doris. Floor is yours. Yeah.
Thank you for the question, Mississippi. It's, of course, it's easy because we apply the same criteria to distance education than to face-to-face teaching. So of course the experts are coming also from a university which offers distance educational programs. They will ask some additional question about the technology in use and so on and so on. So you have some additional questions, but in principle, it's completely the same. And I was in a project where we try to develop specific criteria for distance education, and we gave it up because they have so much in common that so the question, have you described your learning outcomes? How are the students prepared for the assessment? They are all alike. They are all the same. And then you have some additional perspective. How do you make sure that the person sitting for an exam is really doing the exam and there is no cheating? So you have some additional perspectives, but we always use the same criteria and indicators we provide because we notice it makes no sense to draft specific ones. And your question regarding the cluster, it's very easy for us. It's not the question how your university organizes the study programs if they are in different faculties. Our principle to cluster programs is to say, are they from the same disciplines? Yeah. So for us, it's important to cluster chemistry and biology and education in biology and education in chemistry. So we will bundle these programs. It's not relevant if they are in different faculties. Yeah.
Okay, I think it is already answered, Ibu Siti. Okay, thank you very much, Doris, for your answer. Maybe for your informations, the European Insight Consultancy also, maybe as an external institution, we can also assist you to help you to fulfill the requirement for AQAS. So we can have a look and also assist you and as a to help you to fulfill the for AQAS requirement. And is there any further questions for any other participants about this accreditation or any other question that are relevant to with this session? No? I think your explanation is very holistic, Doris. So everyone already get the points of your.
Yeah, and I also assume that the point is if you go more into details, if you really apply for accreditation, then you have many questions.
Yeah.
Very detailed,
But
specific
yeah.
one. But at the moment, I think to get an overview over the procedure, it's easily done and seems to be successful. So
yeah. Yeah, maybe for general for the general procedure will be it will be sufficient, but if once it as you said, once it will get into details how the process, maybe there are some questions pop up in mind. So so please bear in mind if any of you who have further questions, maybe we can consult with AQAS and also with your Insight consultancy. Maybe one last call for any other questions, or is it already enough? We have more than 200 participants in this webinar. So I think Doris and V, they will discuss about how this process relevant with their each institutions and from LLDikti and also from EI will assist them if there are any other questions which are relevant to AQAS. We will connect AQAS with all these Indonesian institutions. I assume there is no more question left, maybe I will just end the Q&A sessions. I will give the floor again to Mr. Gunaredi. Mr. Gunaredi, time is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kang Ali, for leading this Q&A session. Yeah, even though there were only a number of questions raised, but we are sure that represent the most important issues related to this international accreditation process. Probably from LLDikti, still have some comments, Professor Tony, from your side, because if not, we still have more times left, as planned earlier. Otherwise, we have got to close this earlier. Or from Pak Iksan.
I think everything is clear, Mr. Gun, and we have network with our head of quality assurance in Jakarta, and we will discuss about it later in our WhatsApp group.
Okay,
Gunnar,
good. Yes.
may I add something, because there was a question for use of results. I mean, Isa Ungul presented their experiences with AQAS, so thank you for this. I would like to encourage you just to contact other universities. AQAS accredited, as I said, more than 270 study programs, so there are several universities in Indonesia with experience with our agency, and ask them quite frankly what they liked or what they disliked, to get an idea also and of our work, and to get to know from them how they made use of the results. So
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Doris, for the additional information, and also compliments to University Esa Unggul, Jakarta. And also for additional information from Euro Insight Institute and Consultancy, this Ms. Kang Ali, Mr. Ali Abdullah, one of the services they provide, including quality improvement, like branding, ranking, study programs in general at higher education institution, to prepare them for international accreditation, not only with AQAS, but referring to the framework of standards and criteria from international accreditation agencies. So probably you can contact Kang Ali later if you are interested in that kind of service, like what Ibu Erna Khotimah asked in the first round of the questions. So Euro Insight Institutes and Consultancy are ready to hear, to listen, and to customize your need for quality improvement and enhancement, not directly for international accreditation, but to improve the quality in your institution in general, to prepare for international accreditation procedure. That's additional information. If there is no more comments, Tony, I kindly request your permission to end this meeting earlier.
Mr. Tony is during other Zoom meeting, Mr. Gun, and he says we can end this meeting.
Okay, good. Thank you, Pak. Pak Iksan, after completing the Q&A session, it is time for us to close this webinar. As we said earlier, that link of questionnaire already shared through LLDikti 3, and it can be filled in until 28th of January 2024. That is also important for us and also for AQAS, for following up activities. And some conclusion that we can or may draw from this event include first, as a regulation in Germany, external EA agencies are not funded by the government. So AQAS is a private but not non-profit organization. And then expenses from the membership. Second, AQAS has challenging standards in this case, because from the data shared by Ibu Doris during the presentation, 45 unconditional results and 229 with condition and 17 with postponement. That's quite challenging. To prevent this kind of postponement results, a pre-check might be applied. And then we hope this webinar will yield closer cooperation between your institution, LLDikti 3, the relevant government agencies, AQAS, and Euro Insight Institute and Consultancy, to all parties and distinguished resources and audience. We would like to extend our sincere appreciation and gratitude for your attendance, participation, and contribution, especially to LLDikti 3 and the team, AQAS, and Euro Insight Institute. We hope to see each other again on various occasions in the future, either in Indonesia or in Europe. Thank you so much.
Terima
Bye-bye.
kasih. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Terima kasih.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Gu, Mr. Ali Abdil ya.
Terima kasih Mas
Thank you.
Gunardi, Mas Wiyadi, oleh Ali Abdillah. Terima kasih semua. Terima kasih Prof. Tony dan tim.
Terima kasih Bapak Ibu semua.
Happy.
Terima kasih Pak Iksan. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.